welcome to episode 49 of Expertise is Overrated, the podcast that takes the time to answer the questions you didn't know you didn't want the answer to. I'm Sean.
And I'm Vib, and neither of us has any clue what we're talking about. You're weirdly excited for it being episode 49.
I don't know why I emphasised it so well. I think I'm very excited that we're this close to episode 50, and I just sort of got carried away with myself.
You know what? That's fair, actually. We should pat ourselves on the back. Like,
we're not there yet.
We're not there. No, I mean, and after last time, who knows?
I'm amazed we're back, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we got very close to a full-blown breakup here.
I think we may have just put it off for 3 episodes, but never mind.
Maybe. Well, we'll get over 50 and then we'll never speak to each other again, I think. How's that?
That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, so not a tinfoil as such or even remotely, but yeah, can we just talk about the fact that I got so angry last time that I just forgot how to speak English, you know?
That was amazing. It was so good. Your sentence structure just completely disappeared.
And I was explaining this to someone today that I got so angry because I was actually defending the need for criminals in the world.
Yep.
Which, you know, now that I say it like that, yeah. I mean, go and listen to the episode and then and then very importantly tell us which side you're on, because that was we gave everyone some homework.
We need to know, because we need to know how to structure episode 52.
Exactly. But somehow I've made my bed to be on the side of the criminals in the world.
Yeah.
And, you know,
you're basically one of the Cray twins now.
I mean, wow. Wow. We're going to start off like this today, are we?
Sorry.
Fucking hell. Maybe we won't get to episode 50 after all.
It's a good segue, perhaps, talking about stupid things. That was forced. We're introducing yet another new episode concept. We should really just pick like 2 or 3 formats and stick to them.
No, but this is the con. We just say, oh, this is a new concept that we'll be launching as a sort of mini-series, and then we never do more than 1 episode for these things.
What, like you wake up as?
Yeah. Everyone's waiting. Everyone's dying with, you know, to hear another You Wake Up As episode. It's never happening. Except it is. We totally have one planned.
We do have one planned. I think it might be next episode, actually. No, it's not next episode. It might be episode 51, though.
Don't be silly. It won't be until like episode 69 or something.
That's true. But no, so this time we're talking... What we're going to do is we're going to fix something stupid. That's either going to be something stupid in the sense of stupid things that people say about a piece of media. So why didn't you just take the Eagles to Mordor, for example? That's a candidate because it's a stupid statement. Or something that has occurred in a piece of media that we both think is just really, really stupid. And that's, I think, what this one is. Although I think also the conversation about this is also stupid. So we're just going to wade in unasked and fix it, basically. Say nothing but sense and objective truth and get everyone to stop sounding like idiots screeching in a vacuum.
Wait. Hang on. Have you just somehow roped me into your misguided mission to civilize the internet?
No. I know that's a one-man crusade. If anything in that, you're Sancho Panza, but never mind. No, this is very much, I know that stupidity annoys you at least as much as it annoys me. So I'm giving you a platform from which to fix it.
Now, and this, well, actually, you know, I should clarify first. Do we actually both agree that this is in fact stupid? I feel like we should preface that every episode. Like, do we actually both agree on it being a stupid thing? So otherwise, it changes the tone very much. So,
so for this one, we say so. Today's episode is entitled "Why Not Double Everything?" I think
we can call it that, yeah. Even though I also think that's stupid, but yes,
I think so. That's the thing that people often say with regards to Thanos. Why not double everything? And I think doubling everything is stupid. So yes, I think that's a stupid suggestion. I also think Thanos' plan was stupid.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. So Thanos from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, well, from
Yes.
Marvel Comics, obviously, but we're talking about him in the MCU.
Yes.
Yes, his overarching sort of grand scheme to better the universe.
Yes, I think so.
By halving the population of the universe,
and
is stupid. Like let's make no mistake.
It's a really, really stupid plan. But I think the stupidity of the plan is generally accepted. Would you agree? Although we can talk about specifically why it's stupid.
Well, so I will admit that when I first watched Infinity War, part of me was like, oh, it's actually nice to have a film end on, a negative note.
That's true. I think Infinity War's ending works. That's
really powerful.
True.
Really powerful. So I left the cinema being like, maybe it's not such a stupid idea. And then 5 seconds later, I was like, well, no, except it totally is. In essentially every scenario, it's a really stupid idea to do population control of that magnitude and so quickly. But also, the issue is that he essentially has limitless power in, having collected all the Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the best he can come up with.
That I think is my challenge to him as well, to Thanos, this fictional character. How small-minded must you be that you're presented with this, or you identify this problem, right? Finite resources, apparently limitless population gain, and your fix is maybe if there was only half as many people, would that be better? And that's it.
Yeah, and ultimately, it only takes some very, very basic mental arithmetic to sort of think, if half of something is this, then maybe double of like something else might be the solution.
Yes, if the issue is the finiteness of natural resources in the universe.
Finity? That's not a word, is it?
The finity?
The finity. That. Wow. Yeah, we're continuing with the finiteness. I like finiteness, but it also sounds wrong.
The fact that resources are not infinite. There we go.
Yes.
Got there in the end. Yes, if the problem that you've identified is that resources are not infinite and are in fact finite, and you control in literally the palm of your hand all of the energy of creation, make more resources is the challenge, I think.
Now, I guess there's potentially a few confounders that you've built in by expressing it the way you did.
Right.
We're assuming he does in fact have the sort of power of creation, and I don't necessarily disagree that that's an unreasonable assumption. I don't know to what extent these things are like stated or confirmed. But it does sort of feel like if you have the Infinity Gauntlet, you could just make a new planet, right?
I think we probably need to interrogate that slightly, because the Infinity Gauntlet is something that is made by Eitri.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I don't necessarily mean the gauntlet itself. I mean, sort of the power of all the stones together.
But the gauntlet is necessary to harness the stones.
Yeah, true. But like, to what's the line of reality that you can in fact break?
Well, Thanos in Endgame thinks that he can delete and remake the entire universe. That's his plan in Endgame. That's time travel Thanos' plan.
Yeah. But again, I guess the thing that's built into that is that you have to delete what's there first in order to rebuild it.
True.
So essentially, is the universe currently in a state, in its maximum state, and regardless of having all the Infinity Stones, you can't actually add to it? Is that something we're meant to believe? I've done it, folks. I've actually stunned him into silence, or he's just disconnected. I've got no idea.
I was coughing, sorry.
Even better. Nearly killed you.
So the challenge is, can the Infinity Stones, as harnessed through the Infinity Gauntlet, create matter?
Yeah, ultimately, yeah.
As opposed to transfer or transmute matter and energy.
Yeah.
Which is what we see them do.
Is it a actual, are they actual forces of creation?
That is, I think, unclear. I'd need to rewatch all of their uses.
Yeah, you'd have to really sort of dig through
every single time that any of the stones are used.
Yeah, because a lot of it's sort of just illusion.
Reality stone in particular, yes. Or transmutation in the case of the reality stone.
And if we take, for example, the soul stone, which makes it quite clear that you can't just get a free pass, right? In order to achieve something, you have to give something.
Yeah.
Which perhaps is, the soul stone, I guess people always say it's special, but maybe that kind of logic does actually permeate them all.
Yes. I think you might, well, I don't know if you're on to something. I don't think that there's anything in any of the films that would suggest that you can create.
Yeah.
You could create with the Infinity Stones as opposed to change.
Yeah, but I guess more to the point for this particular debate is that he's not. It's not like he ever discusses that or thinks about that, right?
He doesn't even think about that. He doesn't even
occur
try.
to him, yeah.
He doesn't go to Eitri and say, "Make me a gauntlet that is capable of doubling all of the resources in the universe."
Yeah. So we can kind of use that as maybe an excuse, isn't it? Oh, maybe it's not possible, but he clearly didn't.
You'd at least check, wouldn't you?
Exactly. And that's not even talking about the fact that that's still a stupid idea.
Let's come on to that. Let's discuss why killing half of everyone is really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those. Like I said, I'm as you well know, I'm always one for a slightly callous, if logical, well, in my mind, way of doing things. But even I can't really seem to find the justification to do quite this. But I guess also because I don't in any way agree with his sentiment that the world or the universe is in such a dire state that it needs fixing to that extent,
This is the thing. He's essentially... there was a problem on his planet Titan, right? They drained
Titan. They killed each other and,
But they drained Titan of its natural resources. He saw it coming, is what he says. And so proposed genocide as the only possible solution rather than, have we tried, wind power?
And also, and I guess this is my favorite thing of where the numbers don't make sense, but you're a very advanced species, and you're clearly not the only advanced species in the universe. There's trillions of planets, that I'm sure have things that you might be able to live on and resources. Maybe just go and explore and find that instead of killing everyone. It's just so bonkers.
It's so stupid. And even more than this, and this was something I was looking at just before the show, just before we started recording. The Earth's population has doubled in the last 50 years.
You mean real life Earth?
It's real life, our planet. The population of planet Earth has doubled since 1970.
Yes.
So
your argument being that if you were to halve the population now, it only lasts 50 years.
Ish, yeah, give or take. And then you're right back where you started.
I don't know if I buy that. Because the sheer level of destruction and chaos that just in one instant halving the population would create, I think we'd be spending 50 years just getting back to some sort of semi-functional world.
maybe it takes 70 years.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I guess I would be in agreement with you there.
But my point is, it's not a permanent fix. It's a delaying tactic, and it's delaying by, on a cosmic scale, an infinitesimal amount of time.
Yeah, but I guess maybe in that scenario we have to see Thanos as an ever-enduring overseer god. He's essentially a reaper at that point.
But he's not, because he destroys the stones when in his retirement. So he
oh yeah, that's true.
He kills half the population.
Fuck, he really
and then
is an idiot,
he destroys the stones to make sure it never happens again. So in 70 years' time, he's going to be sitting there on his garden planet eating his Jerusalem artichoke or whatever it was, and then it's just going to be like, oh shit. Didn't think that through, did I?
Those stones, yeah.
Guess I've got to go and find eternity. Oh no, someone got there first.
Yeah, he's an idiot. He's just a complete and utter idiot, really.
So my theory with Thanos in the MCU is he's just a psychopath. He's just a psychopath who believes his own narrative.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that. So, I mean, I've just likened him to a Reaper, and I mean the Reapers from Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, so for those unfamiliar, they essentially are a sentient being of AI machines. Every 10,000 years or so, I don't actually know that, but every quite a long time apart, come and essentially reap all organic life.
They're a cosmic reset button.
Essentially, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And in some twisted way, I guess that. Well, I can't remember their motivation. It's probably something equally stupid. But ultimately, if you completely reset, then yes, you probably maintain some sort of, or you manage to extend whatever finite resources there might be for the next thing to come along. But Thanos doesn't do that, so it's really hard for me to understand his motivation. He doesn't come along and say, "I'm going to just kill," or essentially demolish everything for the sake of maintaining the universe in its current state, or whatever he's trying to do. No, he's like, there's something good about life, I guess. So I'm going to halve it in order to help it.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He doesn't even present a manifesto, right? So
that's true.
He does, but he does like to Gamora and to Tony Stark and to Vision, right? He doesn't to everyone. And you'd think at the moment of the snap, when I believe his mind is connected to like every sapient mind in the universe, maybe tell them what's happening, tell them why you're doing it, show them what you see, so that the ones that are left can go, oh God, we've got to build back better. We've been given a second chance. He doesn't do that. If you're some, I don't know, caveman living on Alpha Centauri or whatever.
It's pretty hot there.
Proxima Centauri is hot. Alpha Centauri is a planet now.
Is it actually?
Fairly sure. Proxima Centauri is the name of the star. I'm going to look really stupid now.
It's a triple star system.
Fair.
It's literally 3 stars.
I thought Alpha Centauri was the planet.
Yeah, so Proxima Centauri is a star in the Alpha Centauri system.
All right, living on a planet in the Proxima Centauri system.
So my excellent joke stands.
My point is, like, your cavewoman mate turns into dust. You're not going to have a fucking clue what happened.
Yeah, and this is another thing about this whole situation, right? Is that he's not judicious in any way, right? His whole, I'm going to, make it all random and judge everyone equally, and, it's purely stochastic. Yeah, but why not, as you say, if you're on some sort of planet where life is completely primitive and you've not told them anything as to how to create more longevity, etc., or be more mindful of resources, he doesn't do that. And equally, look at the Kree, for example. Like, the only time we ever see it, it looks like a very high-functioning society. Maybe they don't have these issues that he's trying to fix.
Yeah, maybe they've supplanted them. Anyone who's built a Dyson sphere is probably fine.
Yeah, it's like, it's just, the whole thing's just mad.
This comes back to my. It's not a realistic plan. He's just a madman with a narrative.
Yeah. So I'm somewhat inclined to agree with that.
There is a complication with that theory, though, isn't there?
There really is, and it's the fact that he then just fucking retires and sits on his ass and destroys the stones.
Yeah.
Which is like seemingly all he ever wanted to do. It's just such an idyllic view.
But the thing is, he could have just done that. Like, he could have just...
No, he could have done, but he also doesn't seem to mind when Thor ultimately kills him in that, right? Because he's like, oh yeah, I've done what I think is right, which implies some sort of sense of logic or morality. I'm not sure.
But he also, when time travel Thanos sees Nebula's recording of his own death, even then it doesn't bother him. Like, if I was presented with a recording of my own death from the future, that would freak me out.
Yeah, that's because you're not inevitable.
Well, yeah, obviously. But he goes, he says that this is destiny, and that is destiny fulfilled. He just goes, yeah, that is my end game. My end game is being decapitated by Thor after I've done what I set out to do. So he obviously, on some level, believes in what he's trying to do.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, but it's... I think he might just be really, really stupid.
He might just be really, really stupid, yeah. Yeah, do I accept that as a thing? Do I accept
it's confusing because he's obviously he was a scientist on Titan. So, and Titan was an advanced civilization, so one assumes he's not actually stupid.
Scientists are idiots, mate.
That's true. All the ones I know are, certainly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, real major idiots. The ones you know.
But beyond...
Yeah,
he's a big deal before he has any stones at all, right?
But this is it, because he must be quite competent because he's amassed a huge following. Now,
he controls Ronan, the Accuser, at the start of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Now the sort of caveat there, I guess, is, are these all just madmen with narratives?
I mean, Ronan absolutely is.
Yeah, and all the sons or the children of Thanos, or whatever they're called.
Ebony Maws and the like.
Yeah. Are they all just mental? And I guess the army he's amassed are the Chitauri, right? Who... I don't know. Are they even like sentient? They never seem to say anything.
They all die when Stark nukes their mainframe. I think they're like alien cyborg hybrids, basically, because they certainly appear in some ways to be organic.
Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, Tony nukes them, but then that must have been like one branch of them or something.
I think that must be right. Yeah,
because they definitely keep showing up. That's a whole different thing. But so he's a madman with a narrative. But he's, I don't know. He's just he's not an idiot, except in where it matters. It seems.
So this comes back to my theory. I think he's not an idiot. His plan is almost just an excuse for genocide.
But then why stop at half?
I don't know.
It's a bonkers question to be asking. Why not kill everyone in the universe?
Well, that is, and like I say, that is what time travel Thanos plans to do. He plans to kill everyone.
Yeah, but again, he plans to kill everyone with some sort of ulterior, quote-unquote, good motive, right?
To rebuild the universe full of people who didn't know that all their loved ones died.
Like, so who
in a way...
Who is he doing this for? I don't understand. Because he's not doing it for himself, to be like the God Emperor, right?
No.
He doesn't
want that. He just wants to retire.
He seemingly does want to make the universe a better place. And if you look at Gamora, for example, like he cared. He clearly has some sort of emotional,
in theory,
depth there. Nebula being a really strong counter argument to that, but yeah, so I just don't get it. Like, if genocide is clearly not his thing, he's trying to do what he considers good.
But genocide appears to be the only tool in his toolbox.
Yes. He doesn't sort of set up a relay system so that every, I don't know, 20 years he just flicks his fingers and all of a sudden all the crops are, super healthy again.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. He's got no mental flexibility.
What about civilizations that have already exhausted their natural resources? So Mad Max-esque civilizations on the edge of space that are barely clinging on. Killing half of their population isn't going to change the fact that their soil's unfertile and the skies are poisoned.
No, but we have to assume he'd still do that, right?
But he would. Yeah, that's my challenge. Like, there's no thought applied. There's no rationality applied.
Yeah.
To use your favorite idea, like, it's not logical.
Yeah.
Because the logical thing to do would almost be to look at every instance of sapient life, use the time stone to see its trajectory over the next however long time frame you want to pick, and then make small nudges to make their trajectory better.
Yeah.
And so in, somewhere that is, dying under an irradiated sun or whatever, needs a different fix from, Earth of today, where we just need an energy solution.
Yeah.
Like, the needs are so fundamentally different. And the Kree are a really good example. They probably don't need anything.
Yeah, they just, yeah.
Or Xandar is another example of that. Xandar looks like a paradise.
Yeah, so it's confusing in that regard. So the two points that I want to make there is one, he always essentially just says he wants to halve life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as a biologist, I'm going to have to just comment on that and say that would not fix the problem, because then you're also wiping out half the things we eat. So
I think
you've got the same issue, just half the size.
I think there's a reason that he needs the Soul Stone, and it's not all life. I think.
No, I know. I think we have to assume, as you say, it's sapient life, but he doesn't say it that way. And given that we think he's an idiot,
yeah, no, absolutely.
There's nothing to suggest he hasn't just nuked half of life and hasn't fixed anything.
Yeah, he's brought all the numbers down.
Yeah.
Half as many crops were planted.
Exactly, like, oh, shit. And the other thing is just dawned on me, like, Doctor Strange obviously sees 14 million and, like, one scenario.
14,612 or whatever it is.
Yeah. And not after he does it, he doesn't come back and says, you know what, Tony? He's got a point. He just comes back and says, shit, we've got overwhelming odds to get this right, and we need to get this right.
I've had that thought as well. Actually, Doctor Strange strikes me as the sort of individual who would look at 14,612 futures, and if 12 million of those, the universe is better off, with the Avengers losing, he'd foul the play, I think.
I think he would certainly be like, oh, there's something to this, but
he's got a small point. Can we maybe have a think about it?
Yeah. But then the whole story just becomes of, like, trying to fix the stupid idea that Thanos has.
But also, Thanos doesn't spend any time with the Time Stone going through the various permutations of the future to work out the best possible version of his plan.
No, he really doesn't, because he's so set.
Doctor Strange says it's like 10 minutes. Like, I've got the, is it a Xanatos Gambit, something like that? Like, the perfect plan. Like, from the moment that those lines are uttered, everything is, everything is going to be fine.
He's just got major tunnel vision.
He really, really does. I think, now I'm going to veer slightly, I think in the comics, it's sort of fixed because the resource thing is true, but also he's got a crush on Death, who obviously, because it's comics, is a personified figure.
Of course.
So the solution to the problem that Thanos has identified also has to endear him to death, which is why he kills half of all life, because he's like, look at me. I think.
You see, but he doesn't kill half of all life. This is another semantic argument I'm going to have to make here. And in many ways, he actually shoots himself in the foot, because not only does he just remove seemingly everything,
yeah,
right? Like these people, they turn into dust, I guess. So is the dust still made up of the sort of molecular matter that the people used to be made of?
So my theory is, if you go to this, the stones can't create or indeed destroy; they can only transmute. What he does is he transmutes to dust.
Yeah. So at which point he's fine from a thermodynamic point of view to an extent.
Yeah, on the assumption that the stones have to obey the laws of thermodynamics.
Well, but even if you remove that much mass, you're still creating an issue, right? Because that's biomass that is required to fuel the food that you're supposed to be providing, for example. But by removing it, completely, it's different. But he doesn't because people don't die, right? We don't think of the blip as people having died. They just go elsewhere.
Or cease to be.
But it creates a whole separate issue. Like, has he essentially just split the universe in two and then created two problems?
Or created two universes with solutions, but he hasn't told anyone that that's what he's done.
Yeah.
For his value of solution, which obviously isn't actually a solution. Oh my god.
He's just a moron. Let's be real here.
So why not double everything? If we assume that the stones don't have to obey the laws of thermodynamics, why not just double everything? Double the amount of oil, double the amount of trees, double the amount of cows, the food. Like, just double everything.
Well, I think there's maybe sort of just a conceptual limitation there. Like, how would you do that?
That's true. And complicated.
As in, do you just double the number of cows on Earth? That's surely going to create more problems than it solves.
Yep. Could you
double Earth's size? That's going to probably create a huge amount of issues as well.
Gravity issues. Could you double the calorific density of all food products? So all food goes further?
No, because then you still fat? Just exactly. Then the fat people just get fatter. You essentially just replace the universe's food sources and energy sources with like the optimal thing for everyone, or for every individual race or whatever. Let's say every species rather. That might be it, right?
That sounds awful, though.
Well, yes, but
like I don't want to eat like one sugar cube worth of calories every day.
Sure, but if the alternative is that you get turned to dust, I mean...
The alternative is like a coin flip that I get turned into dust or you do, and honestly, I'm probably willing to take that bet.
No, because the odds are still pretty high that we both end up in some sort of alternative realm, and then what?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just wanted to get that joke.
Maybe it's a realm where we're bloody like immortal and we have to spend all eternity together. Yeah, exactly. Huh? Thanos is just a dick.
Side note: immortality would be the worst curse.
Yeah, you've made this point before. I think we have to do an episode on this, don't we? Let us know if you want to.
The importance of mortality.
The importance of mortality. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this one where I really don't know what I think of it.
This is something that I feel weirdly strongly about.
Yeah.
Basically, it comes down to the fact that I'm always really tired, and I can't imagine spending millions of years this tired.
Yeah, but I always picture immortality as a lack of deadlines.
Ooh, you might have just sold me.
That was easy. Well, that was episode 50, everyone. No, I think there's an interesting debate there.
There is a good debate there.
But I guess that's an alternative, right? If you make it so that every time you harvest a particular plant, or you quote unquote kill a cow to get the meat out, you don't actually do that. right? They're just infinite sources of stuff.
Right, but at that point, you almost need to constantly be breaking the laws of thermodynamics. So while I accept that it may be possible in the moment of the snap to break them, surely Thanos' body cannot sustain like a perpetually breaking the laws of thermodynamics engine. Because you see what the snap does to him.
Yeah, and ultimately, there's just zero evidence that he provides that these issues are not even just there. Like, it's not like it's not like the MCU spends a lot of time laboring the point that there are famines all over Earth, etc. Like we know that because we live on Earth. Exactly, there are, but it's not like the universe is at like war or in a perpetual state of complete conflict and chaos because these issues are so pressing. But he's just fantasized that.
If you come back to Earth and we limit ourselves to Earth, what would happen if you doubled all of the available natural resources on Earth to the day-to-day lives of most people on Earth?
Well, yeah, this is the problem, right? Because economically, the people who own
the resources
twice
just get richer.
Exactly. So in the snap, you have to build in a fair distribution system as well.
But the moment you build in a fair distribution system, it's not the snap itself is not fair, and because his argument is that randomness is the only true fairness because he's a child.
Yeah, but I guess this is the thing: you randomly reallocate everything as well.
But randomness is not fair for any complicated system of morality. Right, the best example.
But I well, I was going to say, but morality doesn't feature, but it really does because he makes a point of it, and it's really stupid.
His argument is that the snap is fair because it's random, right? If he just said it's random because it's the simplest way to do it, then it stops being an issue. But he says it's random and thus it's fair.
It's complicated because randomness is fair, but it isn't fair. I don't really know how.
You're exactly right.
It's equal but not fair.
Yes,
or fair but not equal.
I can't remember the point. It's fair in the sense that it is in no sense biased.
Yeah, it's not biased or orchestrated.
It's not biased or orchestrated, but it's arbitrary.
Yeah.
And arbitrariness is inherently unfair, I think.
Yeah, because ultimately you would still essentially create, say, a normal distribution of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But we kind of have that anyway because
this features really heavily in theories of jurisprudence that I should know better than I do.
Yeah. Because ultimately the idea that like 1% owns 99%. Yeah, it just depends on how everything else is distributed.
Obviously that's not fair either. I'm not arguing that the system that we have at the moment is fair.
No, but hiding your argument behind, it's random and therefore I'm great.
It's something that Ronnie Dworkin writes about, but I can't remember exactly. Checkerboard morality is the phrase, and it's the idea that you judge people based on an arbitrary characteristic. So it's fair in the sense that it's predictable, but it's not fair because the characteristic that you're determining outcomes based on is unrelated to the outcomes or the inputs, essentially. So your jail sentence is decided based upon your hair color.
Yeah,
it's fair because it's predictable and it's unbiased.
See, Thanos makes that sort of mistake that stochasticity is very important in that it certainly runs like all of biology, say, and not just that, but and you can use that line of logic to sort of say, well, therefore it should apply to like all aspects of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's how it works. But the problem is it doesn't work in the sort of settings that we're talking about now, as you say, when it comes to things like judgments or allocation of wealth and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Those are no longer just purely stochastical things, nor should they be.
No, exactly.
It's going to start breaking my head again.
This is why
because you mentioned immortality. Every time you mention immortality, our brains just turn to mush.
Sorry, I come back to. the way that I think he should have done it is he has the time. He has the time. Well, he shouldn't. He should have not been a genocidal maniac.
Should have set up a committee, sent a few emails around being like, can we have a meeting about how to fix the universe?
The first thing that you have to do is you have to establish a committee. And in order to establish a committee, you have to identify who's going to be on that committee. And then those people need to meet and agree terms of reference for the committee on which they will sit.
Except he can't establish them because it has to be random.
It's true.
So he has to do a flick just to form the committee.
You're absolutely right. The first thing we have to do is have a meeting with the people who won't be on the committee so that we can agree what we need a committee to do.
Now, this is the MCU that I want to watch.
It's the MCU I want to write for.
Iron Man 1. Forming the committee.
Can you imagine? So Iron Man 1 is really, really funny for this, actually, because he, in a press conference, just says, we no longer make weapons. And then genuinely the rest of the film, in reality, like I'm not doing a bit here, is Obadiah staying going, yes, but we have a board and we have shareholders and you can't just do
exactly.
that. And Tony Stark going, but I did. It's so good because I don't know, just really amuses me.
There's a weird parallel to Thanos there, isn't there? I do what I want.
I do what I want, and no one can tell me I can't because I've got all the bloody Infinity Stones.
But so the question again, like, could he have just doubled everything? I think it's really easy to say, really hard to do in practice, really hard to conceptualize. And also, still just stupid.
And it still doesn't fix the problem.
No, it doesn't fix the problem at all.
As we've just discussed, like, if you were to double all of the natural resources on Earth, it doesn't make life any easier for someone suffering from famine in Ethiopia or Sudan or wherever, because the problem is, on Earth isn't a lack of resources. It's an unfair allocation of resources, fundamentally.
For now, yeah.
For now.
I think the outlook isn't great.
For now, and I agree that we should be focusing much more heavily on a 100-year solution for the problem that people have identified coming down the line. I don't know that solution is the cull of half of the population.
But so this is the question I was going to ask then. So if doubling is not the thing, if we assume that his sort of outcome metrics are actually valid, is halving the better choice than doubling? Or are both both are just completely bonkers?
But I think they're equivalently stupid.
Yeah, they might well be, actually.
So because if you half the population, okay, let's assume it's perfectly random and perfectly fair, and therefore you get 50 of the 100 richest people in the world. The remaining 50 are still the 50 richest people in the world, and the 50 that you've killed will all have wills, so their resources just go to their inheritors or inheritees. Like, it doesn't fix anything.
Yeah,
you'll still have people hoarding natural resources.
Yeah. So not only do we not really understand what he's trying to fix, what issues he's trying to fix, we also don't think that he fixes anything, or that the alternative that people, say, oh, he should have done this, also doesn't fix anything.
I think specific to Earth, yes, I think, and that's the only frame of reference in which we can work. Yeah. I do not see a situation in which if you just all of a sudden, if oil wells could produce at 2 cubic meters per second rather than 1 cubic meter per second, anything changes realistically for humanity. In the sort of medium term. In the short term, you break world economies and everyone takes to the streets and riots as well, because you fundamentally throw the balance of world power out. So that's dangerous, but also just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. So first of all, I think obviously episode 100 we finally tell the people how to fix the world, because we know, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But for now,
episode 100, I like it. Give us time to work out what the answer is.
No, we'll just dangle that, as in, I want media at my door being like, you have the answer, tell us now. I'm like, no, you wait.
Wait. But
No, but
what
we
Earth
have
needs is a technical solution, right? Crack fusion, crack GMO
no,
crops.
it is more complicated than that, right?
Yes, I know.
Lobbies are a major issue.
Yes, obviously you crack fusion. That doesn't solve the energy crisis overnight, but
the more cynical argument is if big oil companies had invested in fusion, maybe we would have cracked it by now. Or even worse, are they actively trying to counter this?
Yes,
dissuade the science, or even hide the data or something along those lines.
Yeah,
you're fundamentally right. Yes, there are obvious things that we could do to improve our situation for sure.
Crack fusion, hydroponic bays, there are communism that actually works. No, I wasn't joking. I think a form of communism or socialism that actually works.
I think we call that socialism at best, not really communism.
Yeah. All of these things would go a long way, but you're absolutely right. There are vested interests in the way that prevent them.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean they're not the solution. But is
our conclusion has to be, and I hate saying this really because it's your phrase, but Thanos is just a madman with a narrative.
I think that's probably right. I like it because it is my phrase. I think he's a madman who believes his own narrative as well. I think the fact of his own believing it is important. He's a zealot to his own narrative. But is the fundamental problem in this conversation that we're trying to deeply analyze an idea that the Infinity War writers had at 2 a.m. in a bar while singing karaoke and just left it there? Like sorry.
Go on.
It's a simplistic rationale for a big purple villain whose endgame is punching 3 other large muscular men.
Yes.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, but you know what? But then do that. Don't try to like half-assedly write some sort of morality thing into this. Like, maybe he's got a point, and aren't you all stupid for disagreeing? No, just make him a big purple strong man who punches some guys, has a big fuck off army, even bigger fuck off sword, or whatever that thing is.
Wants to sit on top of the pile of corpses.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, who just comes in and says, you know what I think would be funny if I halved all sapient life in the universe?
I do it because I can.
Yeah. I would buy that so much more. Honestly.
Maybe.
So it begs the question, are Marvel Cinematic Universe writers just not very good when it comes to writing villains? I think we've sort of briefly covered this in the past, right?
We've poked at this before, haven't we? With villain creep.
Yeah, with villain creep, exactly. But like, who are the good Marvel villains and why? Great question to ask, because neither one of us is prepared for this.
They're grounded. The good Marvel villains are grounded. Oh no, they're not grounded. That's not right.
You're going to say Michael Keaton in Spider-Man, aren't you?
Yeah, but he's flying, so he can't be grounded.
Get the fuck out.
Sorry.
Okay, that's not tinfoil, but that's got to be some sort of shithousery award.
Oh,
my goodness.
Oh, no, but Michael Keaton in Homecoming...
I'm not sure I can take you seriously anymore.
Michael Keaton in Homecoming is a great villain. Obadiah Stane is a great villain.
Yeah, but purely because he's the sort of... My board! Also, he's a megalomaniac, but
they're small, they're petty. Hela actually is a great villain, and again, she's like small and petty. Like, all right, yes, Hela's like a big fucking deal and world ending and all of that, but her motivations understandable and petty.
Yeah, but she also doesn't really count. I'm not going to give Marvel credit for that because that's just based on mythology to an extent. It's derivative.
I'm not sure that's
Obadiah
true.
Stane is a different scenario. Michael Keaton in Star Wars, even though I can't remember the Star Wars.
Michael Keaton in Star Wars. You want to get out
my bloody
for shithousery?
Look, it's been a long day. I've just seen that our thing on Zencaster says that we can still finish this recording, but you won't be able to access your files, and it kind of worries me. But we'll just press on.
That's worrying.
Anyway.
Oh, you've thrown me now. Now I'm very worried.
Let's just pretend that we haven't seen that and that this will all end well.
Loki's a good villain.
Not a villain.
That's probably the challenge, isn't it?
He's an anti-hero?
I think he's an anti. I think he's an anti-hero, but the definitions are very woolly. I tell you though, I'm going to regret saying this because people are going to throw it back in my face. I tell you who's a good hero. A good villain, sorry.
Freudian slip.
Kang in Quantumania.
Yeah, I can't comment. I've not seen Quantumania.
Kang is great.
But Kang is in Loki, right? So
he's in Loki. Well, yeah, he is in Loki. He's not really a villain in Loki, though, in the same way that he is in Quantumania. But my God, he's good in Quantumania.
But based on what I've seen, though, is he a villain in Quantumania?
Yes.
Don't people essentially just come down and barge down his door?
Yes and no. Like, he is clearly a villain. He's very, very clearly not a good guy.
Well, but you and I never agree on that sort of thing, so I'll have to watch Quantumania and
I'm fairly sure he tortures Cassie in front of Scott.
Yeah, okay, that's hard to that's but I need to see the
you need to understand the context.
Yeah, you can get the context.
No, but my point is Kang is a really good villain, but Kang works almost exclusively because the actor is just phenomenal and just sells it perfectly.
And of course it's Ant-Man, so
and of course it works even though it's in an Ant-Man film.
We really need to unpack your hatred of Ant-Man.
It's not complicated.
It's unacceptable.
I just don't like it.
No, but I like judging you for your own opinions because it really hurts you.
Doesn't.
It really does.
I don't understand why so many people care about the fact that I don't like Ant-Man.
It's really funny.
Why am I not allowed to just not like something?
I don't know. It's just proof that you have no sense of humor.
Speaking of things I don't know that I like, we're just chatting now because we've got to the end of the episode, but I can see we've got about 7 minutes left to go in the recording. Tell you, you know what I don't think I actually like that much? I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once recently.
Oh, I really want to watch that.
Yeah, it's all right.
I mean, that's about as much as you can hope for a film in Hollywood now, isn't it? It's not in Hollywood, actually.
It's not a Hollywood film, but I really, really struggled. I took to my various Discord servers afterwards to basically go, can someone explain to me what all the fuss is about after I'd seen it? And I just got like streams and streams of words back at me about all the stuff that I'd identified in the film and went, huh, yeah, that's a thing that's in the film. I don't know. Everyone else was gushing about it.
Yeah, obviously I have to reserve judgment because I haven't seen it, but it feels like kind of film that I would really enjoy because I like
it's good. Kind of it's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I watched it. My life is richer for having watched it.
But usually things that win this big at all the award shows kind of worry me because there's some sort of political agenda that's being...
It's not as good as Parasite.
Yeah, well, I mean... it's not received the award for being the best film of all time.
No, but it's not...
Parasite is a very good film.
It's won more awards than Parasite won, is my point.
Well, yeah, and obviously it's won more than Return of the King, and that cannot possibly be...
It's the same
cannot possibly be better than Return of the King.
Well, no, it won the same number of Oscars as Return of the King. It's won more other awards.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Sorry, yeah.
Fundamentally not correct.
It also won every Oscar it was nominated for, which is insane.
Yeah, but the Academy Awards are a whole separate issue. But we've got off track. The point was, does Marvel not know how to write villains? But I guess we've sort of answered it, because they do have a lot of good villains, but they are the small ones, I think, is what we're saying. Except maybe Kang.
Except maybe Kang, but Kang has also not been a big villain yet.
No, but
he's building.
We know from Loki that he's going to be the big one.
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And the Kang that you see in Quantumania is scary.
Trying to think of examples of really, really bad villains.
Malekith. It's the easy go-to terrible villain, Malekith.
Yeah, but that film is just a car crash.
Mickey Rourke. In Iron Man 2. Red Skull, I think, might be a bad villain.
It's bad that I can't even remember the plot of Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Whiplash. God, yeah. Mickey Rourke. Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. Well, but that's just they just wanted to cast Mickey Rourke, and I feel that's about the level of villain he can play.
Ultron's a bad villain, which is a shame, because he has so much potential. Well, he's not a bad villain. He's just sort of inconsequential.
It's that they sort of they sort of bill him as, oh yeah, this guy, major bad, potential for huge amounts of destruction and grief and whatnot, and then he achieves nothing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's necessarily a bad villain or just the Avengers being good at what they're supposedly doing.
Wenwu in Shang-Chi is a good villain.
Yeah, I thought he was a good villain. But again, he's sort of...
He's not really a villain.
It's just a familial dispute.
Yeah, that gets a bit out of control.
A little bit out of control.
I tell you, he's a bad villain. Icarus in Eternals. But, I mean... Yeah, it would hard for anything coming out of Eternals to be good.
Fucking hell. Oh, Ray Winston in Black Widow.
Yeah.
Fucking awful villain.
That's terrible.
Again, I think the concept of that character throughout, as in, what little we know of Black Widow's backstory and stuff, is like, oh yeah, this is someone you can not relate to, but he's fundamentally like a vanilla human, and he runs this super secret spy and assassin network. That's kind of scary. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's Ray Winston. You're like, okay, yeah, no.
Jake Gyllenhaal in Far From Home.
Yeah.
Mysterio. Bad. Jude Law in Captain Marvel. Not bad, but not good. Just exists. The MCU have used all of the actors as well.
All of the actors, yeah. And all of the sort of tropes.
And all of the tropes.
But a lot of those aren't... Yeah, I mean...
A
lot of our rhetoric at the moment has been like, what are heroes, what are villains, I guess.
We're gonna need to really do that properly, aren't we? Because
I think we are, because I don't know if Jude Law is a villain other than he's just a bad guy.
Or is he a villain, or is he an antagonist?
Yeah, or just a bit of a dick.
Or is he just a bit of a dick?
Because like Thanos is a villain, right?
Yeah.
So Obadiah is not necessarily. He's kind of a villain, isn't he?
Obadiah is a villain.
Yeah, we have to do an episode where we break down what a hero is, what a villain is, what antagonists and agonists are. And yes, I'm going to keep doing that.
What's the difference between a protagonist and a hero, and an antagonist and a villain?
Yeah.
And where does the anti-hero fit in all of this?
Where's the anti-hero fit in? And when is someone just a bit of a dick?
Yeah, when is the only thing that you are is a bit of a dick?
Which might actually be Loki, but also anti-hero.
Yeah, Loki's somewhere between the two.
I mean, please weigh in on this, everyone, and let us know if you want to, hear us struggle our way through meta,
stumble through what would
just
pass for English literature dissertations at undergraduate level.
Yeah, and we'll do it badly, but still pretend that we're amazing.
Yeah,
because that is what we do.
That is what we do,
and we do it.
I'm just thinking about Marvel villains now. Let's roll back to Thanos very, very quickly. So,
okay,
Thanos, his idea of having the number of sapient life forms, stupid. Agreed?
Yes.
For all the reasons that we've just discussed. The proposed internet fix of why not just double everything instead.
Stupid.
Both stupid and probably even less feasible for a variety of reasons than Thanos' plan.
Yes.
Cool. All right. And the only solution that we've been able to identify is this sort of planet by planet, go there, work out what their problem is, and then nudge them in a better direction.
Ridiculously entertaining cinema, for sure.
Yeah, that's the problem with that solution, is the Avengers would go,
the West Wing, but in space.
Do that. Oh, that'd be good. Just recast Thanos as Martin Sheen.
Okay, so to live up to the sort of title of the series, Fixing the Stupid, is we cast Thanos as Michael Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, sorry.
Maybe Michael Sheen. As Michael Sheen, and you get a very... Actually, no,
why do I always mix those two up? I don't know.
Michael Sheen could do it. I, for a moment, thought that you meant Charlie Sheen
involved. No, definitely not Charlie Sheen. No, come on.
Has Michael Sheen been in the MCU?
Oh, he must have been. I'm looking that up now.
I'll vamp while you do that.
I love when I googled Michael Sheen MCU. Who does Michael Sheen play in Twilight? I don't care.
He's the head of the Venerati, and I don't know why I know that.
It seems that he's not been in the MCU.
Oh, they've got to be keeping him in the wings for something.
Yeah.
Surely. He's got to be the only big-name actor who's not been in the MCU, who's also not Nicolas Cage.
I can't wait for the Nicolas Cage, Michael Sheen MCU film.
Fuck. Morbius 2.
Oh, Morbius 2.
No, what they'll actually do is they'll be in Blade, I bet. That would be so good.
Goodness.
Just have Michael Sheen playing a vampire in Blade, and he's killed in the first scene. That'd be good.
That might be what happens, yeah. But so we've not really fixed. We've identified the stupid.
We've identified stupid, and the way that you fix it is you entirely change Infinity War and Endgame to 3 series of slow political thriller.
Star Wars, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I can kind of see why Marvel didn't go for that.
I don't think that would have been the 2 biggest films ever if they'd done that. I'd be
probably
happy.
Not. Would you?
Probably not. I'd probably be annoyed because they wouldn't have done it right.
Mind you, I do kind of like the idea of Josh Brolin as Thanos just filibustering for 3.5 hours in the film.
Can you imagine? So you've got that the first episode of The West Wing, right, where Bartlett's not in it until the very end, and they're having that meeting at the end with Toby and Josh and the 3 Christian leaders, and you've got I forget the guy's name, but the guy is like, and Toby are having an argument about what the first commandment is, and he's going, "Honor thy father is the first commandment," and Toby's like, "No, it's not. It's the 4th." And then the guy goes, "So what is it?" And then fucking Josh Brolin's Thanos bursts through, walks through a door that he's 3 feet too big for, and just goes, "I am the Lord thy God." Chin first. And then snaps his fingers on everyone in the West Wing. Oh, it was so good.
It's the MCU we deserve, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think on that,
I'm broken.
On that, we'll queue up our outro and hope that our files are recoverable, because it would be a real shame. Real shame if not. I
don't think I've got it in me to record this again.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. But well, hopefully, thanks for listening to this episode. Hope if we can get the files. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Expertise is Overrated. No doubt we've said some things that were either objectively wrong or downright offensive. As ever, feel free to let us know, rate the podcast, and leave us a comment, or drop us an email at expertiseisoverrated@gmail.com. tweet us at zeroexpertise, check out our website expertiseisoverrated.podbean.com, or come join us on our Discord server.
If you're lucky, we might just argue with you in one of our upcoming episodes. If you're really lucky, we might call you an idiot. Now come back next time for some more absolute nonsense.